Hello children. In the second part of the story, we saw how Pi was thinking of various ways to get rid of Richard Parker. All the plans which we made was practically not possible except for the last plan, the sixth plan. What was the fourth plan? In the fourth plan, he thought of killing Richard Parker with a rope. He wanted to choke him to death. But again, he was not sure. How will he tie the rope around his neck? Then he thinks of the fifth plan. What was the fifth plan? He wanted to poison the animal or set him on fire. But how will he do that? He himself doesn't know how he can poison this huge animal, or how can he set this animal on fire. Then he thinks about the last plan. What was the last plan, the sixth plan? The sixth plan was a war of attrition, a waiting game. Isn't it? In this last plan, he had to do nothing. He had to just wait and watch. He had enough food to survive. Richard Parker had nothing, only a few dead animals which would go bad soon. Then what will he eat? Not only that, Richard Parker didn't have any good water to drink also. Pi thought that he cannot drink the saline water, the salty water. Now, when he thought about the sixth plan, he felt good, isn't it? And we saw that Pi went to sleep. Whole night he was thinking about the plans. The last plan gave him some hope, and he went to sleep. He slept till mid-morning. When the sun rose, he felt a bit warm, a bit happy also. The last plan had given him some hope, isn't it? He felt calm, relaxed. Now let's go to the next paragraph, page number 5. I'm reading the first paragraph from page number 5. Plan number 6, plan number 6, plan number 6. My mind whispered urgently. But what was plan number 6? Ah, yes, the war of attrition, the waiting game, passivity, letting things happen, the unforgiving laws of nature, the relentless march of time, and the hoarding of resources. That was plan number 6. So when Pi got up from his sleep, he tried hard to recollect what was the sixth plan. He couldn't remember that. After some time, he recollected the plan, the last plan, the waiting game. What was the last plan? The waiting game. What do you mean by the word passivity? The word passivity means to accept whatever happens without reacting to it. So here in the sixth plan, he had to do nothing. He had to just let the nature play the game. He had enough food, isn't it? He had to survive. He had to pile up his resources. What do you mean by piling up? He had to just see that he manages with whatever he has for a longer period of time. The word relentless march of time means with the passage of time. That means time moving slowly, non-stop moving of time. What does the word hoarding means? To pile up resources. So here, according to the sixth plan, Pi had to survive with whatever he had, and slowly, Richard Parker will die of hunger and thirst. Now the next plan. A thought ran in my mind like an angry shout. You fool and idiot. You dimwit. You brainless baboon. Plan number 6 is the worst plan of all. Richard Parker is afraid of the sea right now. It was nearly his grave. But crazed with thirst and hunger, he will overcome his fear, and he will do whatever is necessary to appease his need. He will swim as far as he has to catch the drifting raft and the food upon it. As for water, have you forgotten that the tigers from the Sundarbans are known to drink saline water? Do you really think you can outlast his kidneys? I tell you, if you wage a war of attrition, you will lose it. You will die. Is that clear? Now children, Let me tell you one thing. Pi was a very sensible boy. He calmly rethinks all his plans. How many plans did he make, children? 6 plans, isn't it? He was a very calculative boy. He was wise enough to think what will happen if he implements those plans. He's not a foolish boy. The word dimwit means a silly person, a foolish person. Pi was not a foolish boy. He tries to find out the pros and cons of each plan so that he can make a sensible decision. That's why he thought of so many different plans. When he was rethinking about the 6th plan, suddenly he realizes that the 6th plan was the worst plan. Richard Parker was also trapped in the sea, like Pi only, isn't it? What will the tiger do when he is hungry? Tell me, children. So Richard Parker will attack Pi. The dead animals he cannot eat, isn't it? But surely the tiger will attack Pi and eat him to overcome his hunger, isn't it? And then Pi realizes that the tigers living in Sundarban areas drink salty water. Richard Parker will also do this. He will drink the saline water to quench his thirst. Tigers are more powerful than human beings. Richard Parker is very strong, stronger than Pi. So if he implements the 6th plan, that is the waiting game, Pi will only lose here. The tiger will surely win. In actuality, if he acted to the 6th plan, he would be the one to die before the tiger. Isn't it? Now the word or the phrase outlast his kidneys means you cannot survive or you cannot challenge the tiger's kidneys, you can say, which means you cannot keep the tiger thirsty for a long time. Though he doesn't get fresh water, Richard Parker will use the saline water to quench his thirst. The word appease his needs. The phrase appease his needs means to satisfy his hunger and thirst. So Pi will be attacked by the tiger as the tiger would like to satisfy his hunger. When Pi realizes that his life is in danger, he changes his way of thinking. Let's see what happens in the concluding paragraph. Pi knows that he has to swiftly make a plan if he wants to avoid being eaten up by Richard Parker. He draws up his knowledge of animal behavior and decides to tame the tiger. Slowly but successfully, Pi asserts his authority on the lifeboat. Caring for Richard Parker became an important part of Pi's daily schedule and saves him from complete boredom. After 227 days at sea, Pi reaches the sandy shores of Mexico. Now here, in the concluding paragraph, Pi decides to change his way of thinking. Till now, he had taken Richard Parker as his enemy. But when he realized that Richard Parker will not die soon, it will be Pi who's going to lose his life, then he changed his way of thinking. He tried to make this tiger his friend. Okay. He thinks of different ways to tame the tiger and tries to be friendly with Richard Parker. He had some knowledge on animal behavior, and using that, he becomes very close to the tiger. As time passes by, Pi slowly takes control of the lifeboat. He cares for Richard Parker, and they both become good friends. So, if Pi would have been alone in the sea, he would have felt very bored, isn't it? So, Richard Parker was along with him, and they both tried to manage this tough time, that is, the journey in the sea, together. They spent almost 227 days in the sea, children, after which they saw some land. What was that land? That was the shores of Mexico. Now, from this story, what can you tell me about Pi? the small boy, 16 years old boy, what can you tell? Pi was a sensible boy, isn't it? A sensible, calm boy. He rethinks all his plans. He was not a foolish fellow. He accepted the situation and tries to handle the situation with confidence. Yes or no, children? Now, we are also undergoing a tough time, isn't it? Most of you are at home only. You are attending online classes. How should you handle the situation? Tell me. We have to handle the situation in a very calm manner. We shouldn't panic. We have to try to survive with whatever available resources we have, and we all should have a positive attitude in life. Only then we all can overcome this corona crisis. So this lesson teaches you how to handle each situation in a positive manner. Now children, you have to read this lesson 2 or 3 times at home. You are expected to know all the meanings. You have to write the meanings in your notebooks. So this is the end of the third part of the story.